When I was a young lad, I'd often be in my room playing video games, just chilling, and then my dad would come in and say, Fabian, ya apágale ese mugrero, vete a jugar afuera. Now, for those of you who don't speak Spanish, this means turn that garbage off and go play outside. And coming from a Latino family, this usually meant playing soccer or something like that. But being the young genius that I was, I made a compromise with my dad. He would buy me Mario Strikers, the latest Mario sports games with all our favorite Mario characters, and in return, I would stay inside and play that game all day. Super Mario Strikers was released for the GameCube in 2005, created by Next Level Games, but that's not the game I'm going to be talking about today. Instead, I'm going to be focusing on its sequel for this video, Mario Strikers Charged, which released on the Wii in 2007 and was also made by Next Level Games. This game took everything Super Mario Strikers had and punched that dial up to 11. The artwork, the gameplay, the characters, the stages, the items, everything was just jam-packed in here to create a truly one-of-a-kind experience. And in fact, in an interview with the game director, he had mentioned how it felt not only like a sequel, but rather like a threequel because they added so many new things. And I agree with that. Let's back up a little though. How do we go from the old days of eating mushrooms and jumping on Koopas to where we are now? Well, I can't quite explain why, but for some reason in the 90s to mid 2000s there was sort of a Mario sports games revolution. I mean, Mario Tennis, Mario Golf, Mario Baseball, Mario Basketball, Mario Sports Mix, Dance Dance Revolution Mario, Mario Olympics for Christ's sake. Like, what the heck is all of this? I feel like this was Nintendo's way of encouraging/inspiring their audience to put down the controller and play outside for a couple of minutes a day. But I'm not gonna lie, there were definitely some summer days in my childhood when I would spend all day inside playing these sports games rather than going outside and actually playing. Or perhaps another angle of looking at it is maybe they can draw in a bigger audience with these sort of party games, kind of like Smash or something. I really don't know, but either way, I'm glad all these Mario sports games came to be. They all had really interesting and deep gameplay, and they didn't feel like any old party game. Interestingly enough, they never developed these sports games in-house, they were always outsourced to other gaming companies. Among these are Camelot Games, Square Enix, Sega, and Next Level Games. So yeah, as a part of this Mario sports revolution came Mario Strikers, which was very unprecedented. Like, this was Next Level Games' first shot at working with Nintendo and their IP, and they came out swinging hard, bro. I mean, they managed to create this really harmonious mix of gameplay and visual direction. It was just perfect. Let's get into it. So right off the bat, you can tell this game is not like the other Mario sports games. The previous ones would just use their original designs, but Next Level Games changed it up. They gave the characters outfits more suited for playing sports. I mean, Mario was playing tennis in overalls, jeez, I'd get so hot in that. Taking a look at the official character art, we can see that it's rugged and rough, which sets the tone for the game. Each character has a set of armor to show that this isn't like any other Mario sport game. It's going to be very different, so gear your butt up. This art style became so iconic that people were even making mock-ups of characters if they were in this game. Also, the atmosphere that Next Level Games built for this game is incredibly unique. It definitely stands out among other Nintendo titles, especially when compared to the other Mario sport games. They created this weird, futuristic world where everyone's excited to watch soccer. Stadiums are filled to the brim with eager spectators trying to catch a piece of the action. There's a lot of hologram stuff, and the UI seems really advanced yet rugged, like it's been used up. And the team captains feel almost like superheroes with how cool they look. Before every match, the two team captains fall from the sky, and the sidekicks just look with awe. It feels like they're coming down from the sky to save the day, even though they're just coming to play soccer. And in the intro, we can see all of the characters' unique abilities. It's kinda like a movie trailer showing off everyone's superpowers. Talk about style. So I think the main question the game devs ask themselves during development process is, how can we evolve soccer to be sort of quick and snappy, yet have deeply intricate gameplay? Well, here's our answer. Starting off, Next Level Games got rid of many of soccer's pace killers. For example, they completely got rid of the foul lines. No ball's gonna go out of bounds and force a throw in. They said, nah, get rid of all that. We're gonna put an electric fence here to prevent the ball and the players from going out of bounds. And you know what else? Nah, no fouls. Get out of here with that baby stuff. Oh, you got smashed into an electric fence and got electrocuted at 1,000,000 volts? Just walk it off, man. You're good. Stop acting like a baby. They also shrunk the size of the stadium down and only allow 8 players on the field, plus the 2 goalkeepers. I think all of these are good decisions because it really trims down waiting time in soccer and all of the intricacies of fouls like in a regular match. So upon starting a match, you first get the option to select your captain. Each has their own unique skill and unique item they can use throughout the match. Afterward, you can pick whatever 3 sidekicks you want to fully complete your team. Each character falls under one of 3 class types: the all-rounder, the speed demon, and the heavy. Alright, so let's actually start to break the gameplay down. The way I see it, there's 3 unique states that can occur in any given game. The first I want to talk about is the neutral. As the name implies, nobody has control of the ball, which means that nobody has a clear advantage over their opponent. This state doesn't last very long, usually just at the start of the match, and if the ball is blocked by the goalie or knocked out of the ball holder's possession. The next state is offense. This is when you have the ball and your main objective is to get the ball into your opponent's goal at any reasonable cost, while also fending off your opponents. You have the creative freedom to decide how you're going to make that goal. Are you going to find an opening in the opposing team's defenses, or are you going to make one and take your shot? Each character that you play as while you hold the ball has their own unique skill that helps them avoid or fend off your opponent's advances. These are called Dekes. There's 4 main types of Dekes. The jump, where the character takes the ball and leaps high into the air with all their momentum, avoiding anyone coming at them. The juke, where they literally just scoot over a little bit. The dodge and attack, basically the ball holder becomes invincible and comes back with an attack at the cost of a decent amount of cooldown. And finally, the teleport. Next, each sidekick has their own unique skill shot they can do by holding B down all the way. All of these vastly improve your chances in scoring a goal because they're all really powerful at the cost of having to charge the ball up for a significant amount of time. You have to learn how to identify your openings and fully capitalize on these unique skill shots. Finally, the team captains have their own uniquely animated mega strikes. They start glowing, charge their shot up, and let it rip. Up to 6 goals can be scored with these, depending on how well your opponent's goalie can block the balls. However, you can't just do this as you wish. Like the sidekicks, you have to charge the ball up with B all the way, and then you have to play this little micro game where you have to time your B press to determine the amount of shots on the left and the speed at which the ball is shot on the right. Oh yeah, almost forgot to mention, each time you shoot or pass the ball, it basically charges up, going to lighter and lighter colors until you finally have a white ball. The higher your charge is, the better chance you have at scoring a goal. It's really satisfying to charge the ball up all the way and shoot a super slow-mo shot. So I find this mechanic really interesting because it promotes the offense to not just run away with the ball. Instead, they have to keep the ball in motion if they want to have a better chance of scoring a goal. This, in turn, gives the defense more opportunities to get the ball and turn the tides in their favor. That is, because the more the ball moves, the more chances they have to steal it. So charging the ball up is kind of like a game within the game. Like you have to decide how you're going to pass the ball. You can pass it on the ground from one player to another, or you can pass it in the air. The benefits of passing it on the ground is the ball moves faster, so it'll get to your teammate faster. But it can get stolen very easily. If you pass it in the air, well, it's a little more difficult to steal, but the ball moves a lot slower. Speaking of defense, let's talk about it. So this state of the game is kind of limiting in what you can do, but nonetheless, it's still important to the game. Pretty much, you do whatever you can to stop the opponent from scoring. You can do this by stealing the ball, tackling the ball holder, or slide tackling the ball holder. The slide and the tackle might not seem that different, but they actually are. So whenever you slide tackle, you gain control of the ball if you successfully land the hit. But whenever you tackle the ball holder, you straight up body check them without gaining control of the ball, and instead it rolls away and you go back to a neutral state. Also, if you do either of these options near the electric fence on the sidelines, your opponent gets stunned for about 5 seconds or so and they can't do anything. Save for one stage where you can knock them completely off the field and they disappear for a while. So upon further inspection, these 3 states being neutral, offense, and defense sound like any other old soccer game or sport game for that matter. So what sets Mario Strikers Charged apart from all the rest? Well, if you ask me, the game really shines in its game feel. Yeah, that's right, the game feel. See, when you mix all these unique mechanics, offense, defense, and you shake it up in a bag like this, you get the beauty that is Mario Strikers Charged. The gameplay loop in this game is just so satisfying. It's so free-flowing, just kicking the ball back and forth and shooting it and chasing it and throwing items and using a skill shot, and it's just like so cool. I feel like you can describe this game as like and it's pretty accurate. See, most other sports games are tied down by their realistic direction, but Mario Strikers Charged feels completely different because of its more cartoony approach. It's a lot more snappy and quick-paced. You really have to think on the fly. And yet somehow every action feels like there's some weight behind it. They somehow struck a really nice balance between quick-paced action and strategizing beforehand. I think the goalie is a perfect example of this balance. This croc is like a steel wall. It feels like nothing can get past him, even when you're absolutely sure that shot is gonna make it. But the more you play, the more cracks you start to notice in his defense. You'll look at the tools you have in your kit, and you'll think, what if I... Oh... And can I also... Oh, yes I can. So herein lies the strategy. But sometimes the poor guy will get straight up shocked, stunned, or burned, and you have to scramble to take advantage of the opportunity and take a shot. And once you make that goal, it just feels so satisfying. You almost want to celebrate the way your character does on screen. Also, figuring out how to use your team captain's super ability to your advantage can be really satisfying as well. It's interesting because you can use this tool offensively or defensively. It's up to you to learn the ins and outs of these super abilities and decide how you're going to use them. By the way, Waluigi has this super ability where he's able to create a wall on the trail that he runs while also gaining a speed boost. He makes a wall Luigi. Anyway, something else that adds to the game feel is the stage selection. Some of these stages have hazards. For example, like the previously mentioned one without the fence. There's one where there's like sand on the sides with bombs coming down in the middle. One where electricity strikes randomly. The magma one. I understand what the developers were trying to do here. They're trying to add some personality to the stages and change up the pace of the gameplay a little. But if I'm being honest, some of these feel kind of like hindrances to the main gameplay. However, you can still use these stage gimmicks to your advantage. There is still strategy in these gimmicks. But if you want a more vanilla experience, they have a whole lot of standard stages to pick from, a good handful coming from the first game, Super Mario Strikers. And they all got major visual upgrades. Some of them are kind of unrecognizable. And also there's the cheat you can activate that disables the stage hazards. Eat your heart out, Smash Ultimate. But I'm just so glad they still have my favorite one, Pipeline Central. This is where legends were born. So many hours spent here, smashing each other, scoring countless goals against one another, throwing all kinds of these wacky items, or mega strikes. Legendary. However, there are a couple of critiques that I do have for the general gameplay. I don't like how you pass the ball and switch characters with the same button. It's supposed to be intuitive, but sometimes whenever I'm trying to steal the ball or stop my opponent from charging up their shot, it switches me to another character that's completely on the other side of the field. Also, I really wish the camera was a lot more dynamic. I don't like how sometimes, again, I'm on the opposite side of the field and I can't exactly tell what's going on. Meanwhile, the AI is beating me up and I'm not aware of it at all. I feel like next level games, they kinda had to know about this problem, right? But I feel like they didn't necessarily attempt to come up with a solution. Like maybe the player could control the camera manually, or maybe it could be like an auto zoom, depending on where the human controlled players are. That's how far the camera zooms out. But I think that's about as far as my critiques go for the main gameplay. So gameplay is cool and all, but how's it presented? What kind of modes are there to incentivize you to keep playing? Well, obviously there's the domination mode where you can set the rules however you want and play with your friends or against the computer. You can even activate cheats, which are really just kind of like settings, but first you have to unlock them by completing striker challenges. More on that later. Next is the Road to the Striker Cup. This is like the quote-unquote story mode of the game. I actually really like this mode. So it's like an actual tournament mode that feels like an actual tournament. It's not just a couple of rounds and as soon as you lose you're out. You play through your round robins first, and then you advance to the actual bracket style of the tournament. They write like little news headliners depending on which character you pick and if you're either winning or losing. There's 3 cups to win, along with 2 side trophies. The Golden Foot Trophy, which means you scored the most goals out of any of the other teams, and the Brick Wall Trophy, which means your team got scored on the least. Once you come out on top of the bracket part of the tournament, we get to the Thug Finals. Essentially, for each cup there's a hidden character that you have to win a 2 out of 3 set against to claim the cup. As a reward, you unlock the character you play against. And also, when you win these trophies and cups, you get a couple of more stages to play with. That being said, I do have a few issues with this mode. Like, I feel like they're a little bit too long and too much of a commitment, just in the fact that you can't switch characters. As much as I love Waluigi, I wanted to switch characters every now and then, or at least change up my side characters since they're not my team captain. But if you want to do that, you have to start all the way over from the Fire Cup. But I do like that you can choose your difficulty. You can choose to go either extreme, which has all the AI on the same difficulty level, or you can choose normal, which has progressively more difficult AI as you advance into the cups. Next is the striker challenges. Here the game essentially drops you into a previously set scenario, and you pretty much just have to win or score a certain amount of goals or whatever condition the game devs set. There's 12 challenges, one for each team captain. Completing each one allows you to unlock cheats to use in domination mode, and a player card that you can check out in the gallery mode, along with any trophies and cups you won in previously talked about mode. And if I'm being honest, I feel like this mode is kinda tacked on, or at least not as well thought out as the other modes. Like, some of these events seem kinda random, or just straight up unfair. Like this Yoshi one. God, I hate this Yoshi one. Basically, you're down by 5 goals, in the sand level, of all places. The ball tends to go to the sides of the fields, which means you have to go in the sand, where you're really slow, and you try to get the ball, which wastes precious time. Okay. Ugh. Anyway, the news headlines aren't exactly that personal. Feels like you can replace any character with anyone else and it'd essentially be the same. Also, Bowser is Bowser Jr.'s rival? What? I feel like that's his dad, first and foremost. I feel like addressing him as his rival is kinda weird. They could have used literally anyone else and it would have been fine. The final mode involving gameplay is actually the tutorial of the game, Strikers 101, which essentially teaches you the main mechanics. By the way, I think it's really interesting that the very first lesson has you playing as Bowser instead of Mario. Just to show you that the game may have Mario in the title, but he's not necessarily the main character of this game, because there really isn't one. Everyone shines in their own unique ways. Finally, No. I played this mode back in like 2009, and just know it was so bad. Literally unplayable. And I think that's such a shame because I feel like this game would benefit greatly from decent online capabilities. But oh well. Servers are shut down. Doesn't even matter. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Mario Strikers Charged. There's so much more I could say about this game, but I think I have to draw the line somewhere. I think what Next Level Games built here is incredibly unique, but I'm sad to report there hasn't been a sequel or even any news of a sequel since 2007. Next Level Games literally just dropped one of the best Mario sports games and they want to go work on Punch-Out and Luigi's Mansion and whatever else they wanted to. But that doesn't mean we can't take this time to appreciate what this game did and how unique it was. The gameplay is so satisfying, the artwork is so iconic, and the characters in this game, they just have so much personality. This game truly touched my heart, and I want to show everyone how meaningful it is to me, and hopefully others as well. I hope to see this style make a comeback, hopefully with some gameplay tweaks and more playable characters. I can easily see 8-player capabilities, a decent online mode, a thriving competitive community if we get another entry in the series. I mean, people have been asking for it for a while, but I think Nintendo wants to focus on their two main sports games being golf and tennis. And yeah, you've got like the Mario Olympics and you got the Mario Sports Superstars, but from what I've seen, those games don't have nearly as intricate or deep gameplay as the single sports titles. All we can do is just kind of hope that they make another entry in the series. But anyway, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. Dog bless. Have a good one. Hey guys, real quick, just want to say thank you very much for watching all the way through. If you liked the video, why don't you go ahead and press that subscribe button. It'll mean a lot to me if you subscribe with the subscribe button. If you press the subscribe button, it'll mean a lot to me. Okay, anyway, second of all, I know I'm a liar. I said I was gonna upload a video weekly and I was gonna upload a video every month, but something came up in my family because you know the year is 2020, so I was not able to upload weekly or monthly even, so I had to wait until December. But you know, I tried my best. I worked hard to get this video out and I'm pretty proud of what I've done. Also, pretty much I'm gonna change my upload schedule. I don't know if I'm gonna upload weekly, but I will try to upload more consistently. Yeah. Thanks for watching and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.